So I've been wanting to make this video for a while now, and I really didn't know how to get around to it. But now, how to get the cheapest drone possible. I looked into this and I spent a lot of time looking into this. I tried figuring out, is it cheaper if I build the drone myself? Can I buy parts of it? Can I buy the entire drone some way? Can I buy some cheap version in China? And all of these solutions came out to still pretty expensive drones, to be honest. Even though I already have a 3D printer available, so I 3D print a lot of the parts. But the problem with that is it's really tough to 3D print these wings so they still fly straight. The advice everywhere was don't try to do that, which makes sense. So I skipped that step, and you can still 3D print the rest of the drone. I mean, it's definitely possible, but what I kind of figured out is it's nowhere near cheaper. Like, it costs more than half the drone anyways. But what's the expensive part on the drone is what I started thinking then. And the expensive part is not the flying technology and all of this. The expensive thing is the camera. So what I then started looking into was ways to buy a drone without the camera. And that is definitely possible. I found this version, the QI1 899B. This is the best drone out there you can buy without a camera attached. In my humble opinion, I know you could have spent a lot more money and gotten a better drone, but this was, like, in my price range, this was definitely the best I could find. And I'm super stoked about it. I'm very happy. I have broken it. It's broken up here. We flew it into a lake, and that kind of, yeah, that was it. I have been having some issues with it, but I'll get back to all of that later. What I then did is I bought a version of, well, one of the competitors for GoPro. I bought this SJCAM, which cost me like 1/10 of a GoPro camera. So all in all, I've really spent almost 1,300 crowns for this entire setup, and that is including gear, like everything here. I even have more gear for this camera, but that really has no relevance here because I'm only using the waterproof casing and the camera. The great thing about this is when you buy one of these cheap solutions, you have to use your iPhone as a screen, and the apps they will provide you are terrible. They honestly suck. Yeah, no, I'm not even going to show you guys the interface because it's not existing and the imagery is lagging, and if you buy the standard camera for these, it's terrible quality. But the brilliant thing about the SJCAMs are when you have a 4000 model or above, they have built-in Wi-Fi. So instead of using the built-in app for this, I can use the built-in app for this guy and stream from this directly to my phone, which gives great quality. Well, it's not perfect, but I mean, it's a lot better than it is if I had gone the other way. Like, I've seen videos online and they are terrible. Like, that connection is basically still imagery. So yeah, that's not happening, but I'm really, really happy with this setup. I have some issues though. Let's get to those right away. The app is terrible, of course, but you can get around that. I think that's a very good solution. The camera is great. The audio in the camera is not as good on the GoPro, but the audio on the GoPro is pretty bad as well. So I really don't think that's going to bother anyone. It has a fisheye quality to it that I like, but a lot of people would prefer not having that. You can just, well, pick a model without the fisheye. The biggest issue with buying a drone this way is the controllers, because they're not perfect. Mine, I have issues with it turning off. Like, if I want to land the drone, I have not yet succeeded in doing that without cutting the power. There's supposedly a button here that I can press that will make it like fly down to earth and then cut the power. That's not what happens. I'm usually clicking the button like 10 or 20 times before it reacts to it. That's the only problem I've had so far. The range, I think, is great. The controls are pretty great as well. They're a little bit rugged, but you can adjust them with these buttons here. So really, all in all, I'm super stoked about this setup, and if I compare the prices, it's less than 1/10 of the price of a DJI drone. And honestly, it feels a lot like a DJI drone. You don't get all of the software. The app is, as I said, terrible, and you don't get the recognition, and you don't get the follow function. There's a button you can press, and then it like stays in the same direction, so it like follows you around. You can't do that with these. Like, you have to fly everything by hand, but that's definitely doable. Okay, if you want to shoot great still imagery from air, this is not a great solution, because this is not gonna fly still. Like, this can't stay the same way, and it can't stabilize like the DJIs. So if you're looking for a great drone, like, you have to spend the money for it. But I really think this goes a very, 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 very far away And I'm super happy with this setup, and I'm definitely also happy that if I crash this thing, because this is my first drone, if I crash this thing, it's not going to cost me that much to replace it, because honestly, this is like 700 crowns and I have a new one. And like that to me is just insane. If I wanted to build it myself, even the startup kits that you could buy, they were a lot more expensive, like twice as much for the do-it-yourself kits. And that would still mean that I had to build the actual drone. When I got this, I had to put the outsides here on and I had to put the legs on. That's all I had to do. Everything else was assembled and ready to go. And yeah, I really think I've mentioned most of it now. The only thing I want to talk about in the end here is the battery qualities, because the batteries are terrible. It's not like the range is pretty much the same as the, okay, it's not as good as the DJI, but if you have like 15 or 20 minutes, that's probably okay. My problem with these, I have to take these out of the actual drone through this little hole and then charge it and then plug it back in, and the connections are not great, but like, okay, you fiddle around with it a little bit and then everything works. I guess that's just what you get when you buy stuff from China. But all in all, I really am super stoked about the product, and if you're looking to buy a cheap drone, I would definitely recommend this setup. The camera, you can go with any camera you want. Like if you have a GoPro or if you have a camera lying around, you can definitely just go with one of those. I went with this one because I had it already, and I was lucky with the Wi-Fi signals, because like the Wi-Fi I never really used before, but it really works out great on the phone. So I can follow the screen and fly everywhere with these. I wanted to make this video ever since I got the drone. Couldn't really get the time to it, so I thought today was the day. Thank you so very much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know in the comments down below what kind of drones you guys prefer. And if any of you buy this system, well, this setup, then let me know. I really have a lot of fun making these videos, and I think I'm definitely gonna buy more of these, but maybe I'll upgrade it. Maybe I'll buy a DJI one day. That's the dream, I guess. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.